It's working? Okay, it is working. Okay, cool. All right, so welcome back to another stream. We got 4 ongoing tornado warnings. We got 1 in Iowa, we got 2 in Missouri, and 1 in Kansas, which 1 in Kansas actually is the one that just recently got warned a little bit ago. We do actually have a little bit of actually area rotation northwest of Edson, Kansas here. We do actually have a line of I can't speak English apparently either, as per usual. But yeah, we do have a line of storms here, and we have some. I mean, these are more discreet, semi-discreet to discreet cells out here in Kansas. But let's see what the storms are doing up here in Nebraska as well, because we do have a enhanced risk out today as well. Give me 2 seconds to get to what I need to get to here. Because we have quite a few severe dose warnings up here. I don't know why this automatically sets the gaming on this thing, but okay, great, yeah. Great, YouTube, great. This is great. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I have my door open right now, so it's not as hot because not only do I have my PC going right now, I also have my laptop going right now, and that is I mean, laptop and PC at the same time pushing out a ton of heat. Yeah, that creates situations where it can kind of turn your room to a sauna. So yeah. Right now at the top left on my second monitor on my PC here, I have Brandon Cop Extreme on the side. Because he's on the storm. Well, there's a few storms. There's a couple. I say a couple, but there's a few storms that are on the storm in Iowa, and I got a couple down here on the ones down here in Missouri, which kind of crosses on one of them, and then Storm Runner Media is on the other. Which I was looking at this one over near Chula, Missouri, which it looked like I had a bit of a hook earlier, but one thing I've been noticing, at least with these storms in these areas here between Missouri and northern Missouri and southwestern Iowa, is you have all these storms that are initiating. So my I guess reaction, I guess you could say, or thoughts here, where we're dealing with upscale growth in terms of storms as we're getting into the well, 7 o'clock hour here. Although I mean the tornado threat's still gotta be there, but the extent of it is just gotta be like, okay, what's got to be going on with these? Because there's so many storms that be merging into these tornado warning storms that are rotating. We did actually have a tornado earlier. Let me turn on storm ports. I don't know, because there's some storm ports that will show up on radar. Oh my god, there's some that won't, but I'm pretty sure they should hopefully show up with the tornado ports on here. Okay, no, okay, they will not show up on here. Great, amazing. Let me go over to GR2 analysis, because GR2 analysis does have the ports on there. Actually, hold on 1 second, because that tornado warning out over in Kansas just went confirmed. So let's see. I can imagine. Let's see. This is confirmed. Located 7 miles east of Goodland. Let me go over to. I know there's you got Vince Walty, got Aiden, and I got, I think this is Zach down there with this storm down here, and then they also got this is Mason Harris here. Kind of look at. I mean, they're pretty much all on these guys are on the same road, so I mean they have relatively the same view. See what is going on with this storm down here that just went confirmed. And this also has tennis ball size hail being possible alongside it too. Trying to go back as much as I can here, see what was observed. Because this one, how long ago did this go observed? I don't think it was that long ago that this one observed. Even with my door open, I'm still sweating in my room. Home. Weather Star confirmed tornado. Brief tornado report near mile marker 26 along Interstate 70. So this is like 3 minutes ago when this one observed, and that velocity area of velocities looks a lot more broad on the latest scans compared to what they were on a couple scans ago. Yo, finally got Stream Deck. And I was gonna say hold on, give me 2 seconds to be able to speak English and be able to say the sentence. But yeah, nice. I was gonna say I saw the picture of it that you sent. I don't know what day it was. So 3 days ago. Also, I managed to change the position of my microphone apparently, so now it's more straight towards here compared to being on the side, which is something of the sorts. This thing's been having tornado policy on it for a while. I know it did have a brief tornado warning on it earlier, but this thing, I mean, because I would assume this right here would be some kind of outflow boundary. And that's probably one of the reasons why it's rotating. I don't know how far up our front is. Let me take a look at all right, so we got 82 over 59. This was at 6 o'clock, so this was 49 minutes ago. So I mean, we probably have, definitely the section of the atmosphere where it's above the 50s in the dew point, but because of the spread, it's probably mainly a hail threat right now. And I can't imagine our shear is amazing out here either. Yeah, it's not. I mean, surface to 6 and surface to 3 is like surface to 6 is decent. Same with surface to 8, but surface to 3 and then surface to 1. Surface to 1 is where I kind of look at for anything tornadic, but yeah, not amazing shear, little shear. Even storm relative velocity is not amazing either. It's a very much a hail and damaging wind threat out here in Nebraska. All right, a new mesoscale discussion just came out as well. Looks like All right, let's see if that goes to the right thing. Okay, it did. And of course, the webcam doesn't all work. Great. I don't know what it is with this, man. It's just weird issues. But anyways, so this is concerning the ongoing tornado watch. So 2-inch diameter hail, severe gusts, and a couple of tornadoes remain possible over the next few hours. And this tornado watch goes till 11 p.m. Central Time. And I have the gray short-term severe threat with the cells, the clustered cells down here in Missouri, which we have the tornado warnings going on right now. And then this just got warned for golf ball size, and not this one. This one just got warned for quarter size hail. This one has been going for all. This one is the new one. I just got issued for severe thunderstorm warning here. Still got the observe tag on this tornado warning storm here in Kansas, which I think we may have another tight area rotation potentially west of Edson there. I mean, going up a scan, yeah, it looks like it would be a area that's rotating there. Yeah, I will say that I mean, I can I can confirm myself that the stream decks are very useful, but yeah, it's gonna be a very useful tool. Got a bunch of hail ports out here. Although, I mean, I'm kind of not surprised that there's a bunch of hail ports here, considering, I mean, you're more, you're more populated areas that have more reports compared to an area that doesn't have as many reports. Um, this air rotation has been, I mean, it's far from radar, so we're in an area where it's gonna be doing range folding, but probably have, probably, I would imagine we have rotation still in there. I mean, I'm looking at Frank Comic Stream, and I mean, doesn't seem like there's too much of a lowering him much, but I don't know where he's. I don't know where is he sitting at? Where is my weatherwise at so I can see who's where on weatherwise here? Oh yeah, so Brandon Kopic is. I mean, he's just probably just off to the west of where that rotation is at. Wow, that air rotation that I was talking about earlier in Kansas. Yeah, that is definitely a tight area. Although I mean, we could have the case where we have land spouts because I mean, but I don't think that's the case here. Well, I mean, I say that, but land spouts can be tornado warned. See here. They just upgraded the severe thunderstorm warning on this thing, so now there is 80-mile-per-hour winds that this is warned for here. So damaging winds and also tornado threat on us as well. I'm getting messaged right now because there is s'mores going on upstairs outside. Oh, 1 second. I got a s'more. I need to keep my door open. Even though it barely helped, but yeah. Still would try to have some kind of cooling in my room right now. I have marshmallow on my desk now. I need to put like. Oh my god, is this guy come off with a napkin? Not napkin. Tissue. It is. Okay, great. Okay. Also, Volume 7 is development. I am very interested in seeing what Volume 7 is gonna be like. See here. All right, we got 120 warning. Actually, we're about to have 0 tornado warnings in Iowa in a second here, and same in Missouri actually too. Holy gooiness with this marshmallow, man! Like, ah, now my legs gonna be sticky. I'm getting. So this is the Why am I blanking on the name? This s'more. I don't know why I was blanking on the name. I don't know why I was blanking on s'more. Yeah, I have a s'more. I gotta do this left-handed. So warm for tennis ball size hail. Yep, for a cast. Yeah. first of, first of, first. Well, I say first. Yeah, first of the many for of those videos. Oh. All right, I'm back. I'd wash my right hand because it was all sticky from the s'more I had. Also, from what I was hearing from Brandon Copic stream, there's a tornado trying to drop where he's at over there. Also, another thing too, I think I got my audio down pad because well, I say I have not, but I've yet to spike my audio so far, which I think a lot of issues that came from that is just me having my gain up, and I mean, where I'm positioned with my microphone, but yeah, microphone me where I'm positioned, and then also my gain on my audio interface here. Because that is one thing about XLR microphones. They are sensitive to sounds. or you can't. Well, I should say you can make them very sensitive to sound. I would not be surprised if our how far down is our severe? Not our severe. Oh, it's actually like in the southwest side of this 30% for wind. Sig 1 for wind. Also, ironically, I feel like I feel like I always say ironically, but especially for a day that I've streamed on before, but sometimes it's kind of ironic because a year ago I was live on the state and we were doing severe weather coverage over here, and that was also a day where I had the dust storm up here in Northern Illinois, which was interesting. Literally had the dust bowl in my backyard, essentially. Also, another thing, I don't know if the microphone picked it up at all, but get the link for this. There's one thing I have going on my laptop besides the IM bot monitor. I have basically this. It's basically alerts that show like severe and tornado warnings essentially, and it's made by Dr. Gansini from NIU. So I was like, oh, this is gotta be actually pretty useful actually, because then on my laptop I gotta have IEM, and then if there's anything new for severe dust warnings or tornado warnings, I can get alert for it, and I can also look at satellite, and then I can look at a bunch of other stuff on my main. Kind of, I don't know if it's just more clustered to what I'm doing or if it's more efficient, but it feels more efficient. New mesoscale discussion. And here's a new mesoscale discussion. Wind and hail, unsurprisingly, being the main threats. Which, wow, I was expecting maybe like 75, 90, but or not 70, not 70, not 75, 90, but like 70, 80 or something. But 75, 90 for most probable peak intensity for winds. That is sounds about right for hurricane force damaging winds for today, because that is what Sig 1 is for. And then, well, Sig 2, it would also be hurricane force winds, but Sig 2 would be anything over 85. Then I could be here for this stream. It'd be Michael playing NBA 2K26. Focus on that. Discord must be anything. All right. Will do. I don't know why YouTube won't let me get rid of this. Oh, that's why I had to click. I had to click hide emotes. I'm like, why wouldn't it let me hide the emojis tab at the bottom here? But I'm just being dumb here and just not realizing I had to click the thing again. Nice. Insert Borat doing thumbs up here or something. I don't know. So this got updated with this severe thunderstorm warning. I just dropped the cap for my water bottle. Although I dropped on my desk, it's thankfully not on the floor, which I still need to clean my floor. Ugh. So far, we've had two high wind reports, and that's coming out of this complex here. I imagine those reports probably came from Mesonet. Yeah. Well, one of them says ASA. Well, ASA station would be the part of Mesonet. One of them. Where's the other one at? Yeah. So yeah, but those wind reports are coming from the Kansas Mesonet essentially. Well, there's definitely Oh, let me go to storm relative. It decides a load that is. Would not be surprised if we had maybe some type of rotation here, but I think a lot of this is definitely gonna be big old wind bag here. Why did I close my? Not trying to turn my room into a sauna. New spirit just running up here for half size hail, 6 mile per hour winds. I would not be surprised if we maybe had something larger follow this, although we are far from radar here, so. And this is a one cell I've been kind of interested in with how this has been hooking, but because our shear and all that's been, I mean, not amazing. I mean, it's, I mean, we do have this like kind of merger coming from the west, so we'll see what that. Has this cell been almost kind of stationary in a way? It looks like it. They also issued another sphere dust warning over here. Golf ball size hail, 60 mile per hour winds as well. And well, of course we haven't had the two tornado warnings over here in a little bit at this point, but yeah, you can see what you guys can kind of see what I've been kind of mentioning for a bit here. I say for a bit, but I mentioned it only a couple times at the start of the stream. But yeah, a lot of upscale growth with some of these storms because they're just initiating. Get these storms are initiating. I think that's gonna kind of choke off a lot of the tornado threat up here. Wind and hail threat, I would not be surprised if that ends up being the main things that happen there. But still got observed tornado tag. This should still be. I mean, the tornado warning still going for another 18 minutes, but there's always a chance they end up either dropping that to radar indicated or completely canceling out the tornado warning in general. But we'll have to see. We definitely have a probably either this outflow. I don't know what right click select all does on radar mega, but okay. Clicking random buttons montage. Seriously, do I need to bring like a fan in here or something? Oh, I didn't know that. Apparently the Dow is out over in Goodland apparently. Okay. Also, one thing I've not looked at yet today is the WAF. I mean, not that I look at it every show. I've been looking at more times than anything recently, but do they not or is it the M Pass they have running? Okay, I guess it's the M Pass they have running, I guess. Which I mean, I'll take it. I mean, I ain't complaining. Wow, I think this is really behind, I think, with the latest run, I think. Yeah, see, this the WAF seems the WAF seems to be pretty behind. Or am I looking at? No, I gotta be looking at the right thing. Let me look at the paintball. Yeah, WAFs is they had it running, it seems like, but then they have it behind. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if they're I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's last week or this week that or both last week or this week or something where they had this weather test bed testing at the Storm Prediction Center. I do wonder if that's why it's not acting like how it normally does. Okay, Brand Comic Stream's having issues, it looks like. They also issued one big old severe dose warning for Lime Size Tail and 7 mile per hour winds, looks like, too. Company, I know I've been checking this quite a bit, but I'm just trying to see how many reports we have out here. So I'll update the title because I don't think we have a tornado on it. Oh, actually, they just canceled. They actually just canceled out. Okay. Update the title. Severe weather outbreak. Sing it. Sing it in the rain. Get it copyrighted. Just for saying something, even though it's not the actual song that I'm playing. Or something. Update the Google site as well. Yeah, I would not be surprised if there's any rotation to get undercut by this outflow here, because it's definitely all outflow right here with this. Well, this would be a gust front, but would not be surprised if there's some outflow coming out of this. With well, this being the outflow, but it being a gust front essentially. Apparently, there was some dry downburst in southeast Colorado. Interesting. I mean, it makes sense considering. I mean, we look at the METAR data. It is very dry in Colorado. I mean, where is this? This is in Springfield Comanche National Grassland, Colorado. It's 95 degrees, but 18-degree dew point. That is dry. And then we got at Trinidad Stokes Airport, Colorado. 87 degrees, 19 degrees, and with a dew point. That is, once again, that is dry. And we have a severe destroying. That's, of course, I sail 6 mile per winds. No, how high? Okay, this thing's all the way at the No, let me now there's a way I can increase the volume on this thing here. We're volume. All right. It should be all the way up in a second. All right. How about now? Okay, yeah, that definitely should pick up with my microphone. I hope. See if this actually picks up with my microphone. Yeah. Actually, okay, maybe not. Really? I must have oh, yeah, I'll explain why. Maybe the compressor expander. Well, you can kind of hear it after I turned off the compressor expander. Either way, I should be able to hear it now, but a little bit better compared to when it was earlier. So, oh well. Wow, there's quite a few hail reports that came out of Trenton. That's the biggest one. So I got chaser reports baseball size hail south of Trenton along Highway 65. That was Aaron Rigsby that was that reported that one. And we got this one over here in Red Oak, Iowa, baseball size hail and ping report. I'm surprised that the 80 mile per hour wind report has not popped up on here. Let me go over to GR2 analysis. That might show it a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, GR2 analysis shows a lot more. So let me go to that. Where's GR2? Okay, there's GR2. So, video report funnel, and then this was a tornado report over near Edson. And then a bunch of hail ports out over here in the Goodland. There's about a little, well, basically baseball size hail. And then this one was softball size hail here. Where's the 80 mile per hour wind report? Oh, there it is, right there at the ASA station. 82 mile per hour wind, I should say, specifically. And then, oh yeah, that's another thing I just remembered. I need to show the tornado reports from earlier, if I can, if it'll pop up, because I know it's been a little bit at this point since those. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there's your tornado reports over in Gravity, Iowa, from earlier, which we looks like. I mean, we had a brief tornado there. Actually have some blowing dust or sand reports out here over here in Nebraska, which I mean, I guess is not super surprising considering, I mean, there is a drought out here, but also this is the sandhills out here. How bad is our drought actually? Oh yeah, that is quite the drought actually. Yeah, some spots that have exceptional droughts, and then quite a few spots that have extreme droughts. Well, I'll see how much. I don't know how much these storms are gonna help with the drought here, but I hope these storms help out with the drought that's going on between Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming, and all that. Although most of our storms right now are between Kansas and Nebraska here, at least with the where the enhanced risk is at for severe weather. Which actually, now that I think of it, I know Gear 2 analysis. I don't know if actually I don't think Gear analysis does. But I know Radar Mega, weather-wise and all that, they have the product which you can see how much rainfall has fallen, storm total precip. Yeah, there we go. Actually, 1 hour. What's a 1 hour look like? And this is according to radar here. Some spots, so about a couple inches of rainfall, which is, I mean, they'll probably give some relief, but definitely not enough to completely wipe out the drought going on out here. Where is... Seems like they okay, so the sphere dose right now is over here. They're allowed to expand. I mean, it's still there, but it disappears on Radar Omega because Radar Omega gets rid of the warning even if it's still technically going. But weather-wise and GR2 analysis, well, GR2 analysis completely gets rid of it too, which is great. Weather-wise, we'll keep it there till it actually expires out. It's interesting to see how different radar apps do certain things sometimes, I swear. It's like, that one's doing this, but this one's doing that. We also have a new sphere dart sorting. That's all the way up here. As one for lime size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as well. This is, I mean, this was warned for tennis ball size hail earlier, but this is, I mean, definitely not producing as big of hailstones as was earlier. Although, of course, we didn't really have any. Actually, I don't. Well, we did have one hail pour out here, which was a 1 inch size hailstone. But I mean, not that you couldn't find bigger hailstones outside where the main hail core is at, but I mean, most of our hail, looking at this scan at least, was out over here between Riverdale and Amherst with a bigger size hailstones at least. We got two severe dust warnings inside a severe dust warning. Severe dust warningception. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like WAFs is it's gonna be a no go for today. It looks like, which is unfortunate. Mm, the Dow is still where's the I think the Dow is probably east of good right now, but the Dow is still sitting out there. Looks like. But while we're at it, while we're kind of in a period where we could probably still fit in some stuff with the weather. Talk about different weather days, I guess. So in the same areas as today, we have another hail threat tomorrow. The wind threat is more out towards here, towards like northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, southeastern South Dakota, and then this actually very southwestern portion of Minnesota here. That is once again, actually that's for wind, but for wind that's the same thing actually as the hail threat actually too. There is a tornado threat as well tomorrow, which I know I mentioned it on the community post from earlier, but we do have a 15% with Sig 1, which Sig 1 is EF2. Reasonable max is EF2 intensity, but of course you could have the cases where you have tornadoes even stronger than EF2 within the A Sig 1. So it'll be interesting to see how tomorrow pans out with the severe threat. I know a lot of people looked at the NAM, and a lot of models have been showing a crashing cold front, which I don't know if we'll really see a crashing cold front, mainly because not that you couldn't have a crashing cold front in May, but at this point, I don't think we're gonna see crashing cold fronts as often as you would in like March or April. I think actually go over to 23Z with the HRRR. So here is at least one of the weather forecasting sites. I feel like I've used the College Page forecasting model site more than I have Pivotal Weather recently, but it is very convenient for when you want something like fast, and also I can actually use arrow keys and not the less than or equal, not less than or equal, less than or greater than arrows on the keyboard here. But anywho, so here's the HRRR with the temperatures for tomorrow, which I mean, not tomorrow. This is the 23Z, which this is 23Z is 6 o'clock. So we'll see the 00Z within the next half hour because 00Z is 7 o'clock. Because the HRRR is an hour lagged forecast model, and you can see some of these spots here, which these are more than likely just convection that the HRRR is showing here. Let me actually see here. Simulated reflect. Just looking at simulated reflectivity, that would be convection that is cooling down those temperatures. And then tomorrow, I think this goes till 17Z tomorrow, and it'd be feeling like summer up in here, but here's what the dew points. I mean, keep in mind with the HRRR specifically, the HRRR is known for doing overmixing with dew points, so it'll show dew points that are not there that should be. But even then, that's that's a definitely. I don't know. That's either convection that's there. Yeah, it's convection that's showing there. Either way, it still looks like even. I mean, just in general, very moist environment tomorrow. And then here's the wrap, which this model is lagged behind 3 hours. So we'll go to about 12Z Sundays, which is tomorrow, and 12Z, which is 7 in the morning. And the wrap is showing quite a few dew points here, and to mid to some in the lower 60s, but some in the mid to upper 60s in some areas for our dew points across our open warm sector here. And then as we go into later in the day, those dew points end up increasing. Very moist down here. And this would be where our surface low would be, because you kind of have this well, not quite. I don't know if I would call that a triple point, but at least where would be more than likely a surface low of some type there. Then we go into the late evening, still very moist atmosphere. And then going into Monday, actually, still got some moist dew points. This is 12Z Monday. Once again, very moist. It could be humid humid and muggy in a lot of places here. And the wrap actually has quite a few areas hitting over in the 70s, even in Illinois too. So definitely could be moist. Let's see if this loads here. Okay, cool. I mean, it definitely shows curvature here. What's the instability? I mean, definitely enough instability to get going. We get this wrap showing like 3,000, almost 3,000 and 3,000 surface, and then effective is almost 2.5. Okay. Storm relative velocity, surface of 1. Shear. I mean, shear's not. I mean, it's probably modest at most. It looks like, at least with the wrap here. Effective inflow. So this is the inflow going to storms. I mean, either way, just looking at this, I mean, it's still, I mean, definitely an environment here for supercells to fire up. Wonder what the surface force, not surface vorticity, but 700 millibar vorticity look like. Because this is not actually this is vertical velocity. Actually, this is just regular vorticity here. Vertical velocity will show rising motion. I'm kind of curious what that looks like. Wow, that is quite a bit of vertical velocity in Kansas there at 00Z and 00Z on Monday. And now for the NAM, which is the one model that literally everybody's been looking at, which we're on 18Z right now. And this is where our cold front would be here. And then we have a dry line here, which will be interesting to see how our dry line and cold front will affect, well, how our storms will initiate off our both cold front and then the dry line for tomorrow, which, I mean, for our northern mode, it'll probably be discrete for a little bit, but then probably go linear pretty quick. Mainly because, I mean, when you have parallel shear vectors where they're going like that. I wish I had a drawing to it. Let me go to Radar Omega real quick. So you have your front. So this is kind of like really rough sketch here. So shear vectors going like that. I'll be the case where we have a linear line of storms, and then our dry line, which would be like that, and then so perpendicular versus parallel here. This is perpendicular compared to parallel, which is like that. So you get more discrete storms like this, and not like this. Amazing description. And then the one model I just don't. I honestly, I just don't like, but even that, I mean, kind of shows. It's still a once again, very moist atmosphere. I am kind of curious how this compares up to the ARRR at this time, because this, yeah, the NAM has a lot more moisture compared to the ARRR, and the NAM has a lot more convection. I think actually it has a less convection technically, although the ARRR has more of a linear line compared to the NAM 3K here. And they added the Tornapaseg onto this. Okay. And they also issued this. Course I sail 60-mile-per-hour winds. I have some storms rumbling on down here in Kentucky. Actually, had some severe storms down here in southern Illinois, actually. It looks like some down here in Kentucky, too. And, well, Kentucky, but also Indiana as well. Oh, my nose. I got more storms trying to initiate over in Kansas and also Nebraska, which right now, we actually did have one hail pour actually come out of this with core size hail. If I can click on it, maybe. Mercy management report. Yeah, definitely but not be surprised to see quite a few. I mean, we have a bunch of hail ports out there right now, but I would not be surprised if we have another event which is very much a big day for hail compared to. I mean, we've definitely had some winter ports, but another day of just a lot of hail. And I did not want to click the refresh button on the tab I have Brand Comic Stream up on. Actually, quite a few storm chasers that are down and that down near Goodland. Actually, yeah, Chad Casey that was getting hit by the hail from earlier over in northwest of Goodland. Actually, holy noises of dings I just heard from weatherwise. Ugh, and my nose is not quite stuffy, but it is not running either. Probably just that warm in my room. that my nose is just doing stuff, I guess. Oh, quite a few flood type advisories out here, but I actually got 2 flash flood warnings and then flood advisories around that. What does the D-shape look like down over here? Well, I will say a lot of the environment in terms of D cape or downdraft cape is much better down here in Kansas compared to so actually this entire section here has values over 1,000 for D cape. Where's our wind threat at? I mean that's about more than 30% of that, so we'll see how much once again we'll see how much the wind threat pans out. Brian Kopic making turkey noises on stream. How is everyone doing this afternoon? Here, because another day I didn't talk about yet is Monday. Actually, I did think I talked a little. Well, I talked about Monday on forecast models. We're talking about. I didn't talk about what the actual risk area. But we have a big old sig one area down here going in Oklahoma all the way up here to Iowa. We have a 30% that goes into Illinois, Minnesota, portion, other rest of the portion of Iowa into Wisconsin here. But the main area they have highlighted right now is southeastern Nebraska, but this eastern half of Kansas for severe weather, which we'll see how the next couple outlooks, I guess, look like for severe weather, which will be interesting to see because tomorrow is, as of right now, is a enhanced risk. I don't know if I don't know what they're gonna go for on Monday when it comes to at least a categorical upgrade and all that. But I imagine hail and tornadoes are probably gonna be the main threats again. Don't know what the wind threat's gonna look like, but I imagine the. Let me pull up this thing here. But I would imagine all of this up here is probably gonna be wind threat here. And then all this down here is probably be hail and tornado threat here. And then we have another severe weather threat on Tuesday, which is 15%, which is equivalent to a slight risk. And that extends all the way down here, Oklahoma, all the way up to here in Michigan. I am kind of curious. I know I haven't looked at the outlook yet for day 4. Cold front extends from upper Midwest southern plains. Moderate strong instability ahead. The front will continue to support severe storms. The potential for damaging wind and large hail. So damaging wind and hail are going to be probably the the main threats for Tuesday, probably, I would imagine. Don't know what that tornado that's gonna look like, but I imagine we'll probably have like a section that has a 5%. Whether or not they add a sig one or not to it, will that'll be remain to seen. But well, for any threat, if that kind of goes for that, but because I mean, we've had it since March 3rd, but the new system is much different with how things are done compared to the last system. I definitely have a gust front outflow here from the storms up here. We actually have a storm here and over near Lexington that is definitely producing probably some sizable hail here. More for golf ball size hail right now, but not sure if he had something probably even bigger than that golf ball size hail actually. And then I mean, I saw his throw ball second. I mean, I would imagine if we do have anything that is trying to rotate, it's probably be just a few miles southeast of Menlo in Kansas here. Woo! Excuse me. Whew. I completely missed it. Like, where did I put my, because I have a seal plushie. I'm like, where did I put that? That is the most random thing for me to wonder during a stream. But you know what? We're going with it. Hold on. Let me, seal. Okay, my green screen kind of bent back. Wait. That on the floor. It is still warm in my room. Yeah, I think, well, maybe not completely done, but I think a good portion of our tornado watch, at least this section here, that is a weird arrow. But this, once again, weird arrow. This section here is probably, for the most part, has got to be Not completely done, but much lower tornado threat than whatever there was earlier for tornadoes. Because this tornado watch had a 60-40 for tornadoes. Oh, the Dow. They posted. They posted some data here, or they had live data. Interesting. Okay, so here is from way earlier. Kind of go ahead here, and they can see your storms out from the west. Can I do this with arrows? Regular arrows? No. Okay. I had to do that. I had to actually click the arrows. And then keep going, and then this is the last scan that they got. PPI, Arch A, PPI, Arch I, all. What if we can look at velocity? I think yeah, we can. There's our velocity. DDR. Where is? That is when because I mean it is a different band and all that for the radars that the owls have and all that. But it is an interesting color table that they have for the Dow. It's like this yellow, green, red color table. Oh wow. Quick update. Uh, they just issued a severe thunderstorm warning, and this is warned for 90-mile-per-hour winds here in Kansas. This is I mean, the Storm Prediction Center did put with that mesoscale discussion for 90, but wow, I didn't know we were gonna have it this early. When was this? Is this radar indicated or was this observed? No, this was observed. Okay. Train weather spiders confirmed wind gusts of 80 to 85 have been recorded south of Colby. So this was recorded. Measurement of wind speeds over near Colby. Wow. Okay. I wonder how long ago it was. Like go back a little bit. I can actually I see where it probably was recorded. This probably big old gust of wind here. Although this was just recently issued, so issued 4 minutes ago. It also has well, it's also warned for hail 2-inch size 2-inch size hail with lime size hail. There's your wind report near south of Colby. And Corey Gherkin's out over northwest Kansas as well, looks like. Big dust storm and strong alpha winds rip through northwest Kansas. So we do have some strong outflow right here coming from the storms from earlier here. Well, storms are over here from earlier, but we saw the ongoing storms here. Temperature Center cancels Weather Watch 208. And that would be the watch down here that was ongoing for Illinois, Kentucky, and Indiana. This watch is still going on. Well, these watches over here. This one's going till 10 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, which is 11 p.m. Central. And this one's going till 1 in the morning Central. And this one's going till 11 p.m. Central. What's that? Is that updated? Or well, it shows the new severe because it is new severe tornado with the 90-mile-per-hour wind. Like, take a look at the thing I sent from earlier with the alerts, the NIU Atlas NIU site with the alerts, which that is one thing I do want to kind of show on stream here. What basically I've been looking at on the side here on my laptop. So basically this right here. So it shows you the 25 most recent warnings. And here's your severe dust warning from earlier that has that 90-mile-per-hour winds and 2-inch size hail. There's also sounds like come from this, which you might have heard between me talking with the severe dust warning ones, but I mean, we haven't had any new tornado warnings, so we haven't really heard anything from that one yet. But essentially, the tornado warning alert sounds is basically the EAS alert sound you get on your phone. All right, they just I think they updated this year just right here. Still warned for ping pong size hail, side mile per winds, and there's still throw tag on it still too. They still got the core size hail and 60 on this one here, which I don't know if they'll extend the severe dust warning on this one up here, but we'll have to watch and see what happens with that. They also dropped the tornado tag on this, it looks like. And this is warned for 2-inch size hail, 6-mile-per-hour winds. You also see more cells starting to fire up just to the south and southwest of these cells here. Which those will probably, once these upscale a little, well, mature a little bit more, these will probably end up going severe warned and probably be both wind and hail threat with those there. Someone tweeted on Twitter, none of the cams got spatial distribution or evolutionary taste convection right. I mean, I'm to be honest, I'm not that surprised. I mean, the cams have been all over the place lately when it comes to the simulator reflectivity, but using simulator reflectivity can give you an idea what things can look like, but simulator reflectivity will never be the end all be all of what it will be, I guess you could say. Also, the day one outlook just came out. Current day one outlook. They removed the marginal risk from Western Oklahoma, which I mean, not that surprising. Not that surprised considering. I mean, we really haven't had anything going on here, which because down here I know was definitely a dry line type of setup, but because we haven't had anything in terms of forcing down there, uh, I mean, nothing fired. All right, we have a new tornado warning. And you probably heard the sound that just fired. I mean, you probably hear it a little better on headphones, but all right. So we are back to having a tornado warning in Kansas, which is for Seguin, Kansas. And we are in a case of where we're gonna kind of be in a radar gap here, I think. Let me take a look. Yeah, we're kind of. I mean, kind of, but I mean, we're still. I mean, we're technically still in range actually with a good one radar, but once we get to over here, we'll be in a radar gap because you get range folding out here once these storms get into kind of this portion here. But the nice thing is that the radar over here on Blue Hill is back up because yesterday it was down, which was not the greatest situation, but the nice thing is that there wasn't anything super big, which was good because I mean when you have a radar down, it makes things like not easy. Which I mean, actually, the radar was up, but it couldn't get any data across for some reason or something like that. Oh, let me go find what it was. Radar functioning, working slash functional, but not transmitting data due to network issues. That's what it was. Okay, there we go. So that's what it was yesterday with the radar. See if the let's see if that Outlook is fully updated or not on Partner Outlook and all that, because that's what we're gonna look at in a few here. Once it's all right. So the Partner's Outlook is not updated, but the regular site is okay. That's that's that. I don't know. All right. So they still are maintaining a enhanced risk. Still got that 5% tornado risk in place. You can see where they dropped the marginal risk down here because there used to be a marginal risk down here in Oklahoma, Western Oklahoma. Other than that, I mean, other than some shifts, the tornado, wind, and hail threat areas haven't changed a whole ton, to be honest. And we got a second hail, not hail, second wind report. And this was a Mesonet one with 88 mile per hour wind report. Also, that's 88 as well. Back to the Future, anybody? Our new Spirit Dust warning up here. So they did end up extending a Spirit Dust warning. It's for course I sail 6 mile per hour winds. Yeah, very interesting situation here with this tornado warned area. Because it looks like, I mean, they did just warn us a little bit ago. Where are they specifying this anyways? Is my question. Southeast of Menlo. A lot of miles west of Hoxie, moving northeast. Yeah, there's a lot of velocity aliasing here. Anti-aliasing. Making the velocities very. It's still warm in my room. And I have the door open. Oh, Jesus. Brian Kopic put his microphone out the window. It is absolutely windy. Where is that? Oh, and I'm surprised if that's gusting to like 50 or something. Where is Brian Kopic anyways? Oh, he's up here in Iowa still. That's more for 60 as well with this complex of storms here. I don't think we've had really any storms. Well, storms are making their way northeast, but we really haven't had a lot of the severe storms go up northeast towards into Illinois yet. A lot of the storms so far have been mainly in Iowa, which we actually have more storms north of Des Moines and over near Dubuque starting to fire up now. So we'll be interesting to see how those progress as they make their way, if they do make their way southeast actually. And if some make their way northeast. Because right now it's 812. Haven't really seen, once again, we have not really seen many storms yet poke into at least the northern Illinois. Southern Illinois has been getting a lot of storms so far today. Got a couple new spiritual warnings as well. One's for ping pong size hail, and then the other is also for ping pong size hail, actually. And we also have a new tornado warning. That's to be over here in Nebraska. Be over near your Beat Rice. We actually have quite a tight couplet, actually, over near Beat Rice, actually. So for the ears that are included with this, we got pickerel and then also hog in Nebraska. And this one looks. I mean, that one's a lot more clear than one down over here. With in terms of actual rotation. Even from the Blue Hill radar, you can still see the tight couplet here too. But the radar over in Omaha is probably our best bet for anything in terms of rotation, and that is absolute contamination on that. That is also producing baseball size hail there on that storm down into Kansas. All right, we're this update. This velocity's okay. Velocity's just updated a couple. But they're updating every 2 minutes. Well, almost every 2 minutes. They were updating 1 minute, 1 minute update, 1 minute update. But now it's like now it was like 2 minutes for the past couple scans here, and we're dealing with range folding issues now. Great. Oh, they just updated it again. That is not a debris signature. That is clear air contamination. There was a barn fire out over the Mount Airy, Iowa. Big old help. Yeah. Heliport here. Let's say heliport. At this point, my ball might as well be a hairboard. Hairball report. Latest scans have been coming in pretty quick for the most part. We had a tight area of rotation earlier, but looking at latest scans, looks much broader on the latest scans compared to the much broader rotation. And looking at the next scan up, which the second tilt is 7 minutes behind, so we aren't gonna get a anything in terms of that. They also just extended a severe dust warning here. 7 mile per hour wind, square size hail, and tornado pop tag as well. But not be surprised if we eventually have. I wonder what the mosaic radar looks like on this thing. But I would not be surprised if we have a MCS that ends up panning out from this thing from down here. That's tornado warning swing for 30, not 36, 26 minutes. Now severe swing, half toss to sail, 6 mile per hour winds. That's 4-4 there. Severe swing right here. Half toss size sail, 6 mile per wind, 60 mile per hour winds. One second. All right. I had to use the bathroom real quick. We have a new tornado warning, and that is in Kansas. Asking for a dam in Kansas. Actually, it might be Adam. Adam? Kansas. Either way, we are still sitting at two tornado warnings. The one in Nebraska, and then also the one in, well, the one that just got warned in Kansas. Wow, we got quite the hail area of hail here on this cell. Might be surprised if we had say hail that's bigger than a ping pong on that one. Let me actually go see how to pronounce that. Adam. Okay, so seems like I was basically on the money. Basically on the money for how to pronounce it. Okay, cool. Was not expecting that. And then this also, I mean, technically, I don't know, because I know there's a lot of smaller towns in Kansas, but because you got Haworth over here, Haworth, Kansas, so I don't know if they're included that or not with this warning. You also got Mahaska that's also included with that tornado warning here. I kind of wish I. That's one nice thing about weather-wise is you can increase the name sizes. Radar here on Radar Mega, you can't do that. Which I've been using. I mean, you guys have been seeing. I've been using Radar Mega on the past couple streams and whatnot, but that's mainly because weather-wise has been. I don't know why it's been laggy when it comes to how big my monitor is with my monitor just being big, and then the web browser trying to compensate for that. It's something of the sorts. About that. Sitting at 71 wind reports, 5 of those being high wind, 92 hail, 26 of those being large. If we look at the filtered, which filtered is basically takes out basically duplicates or yeah, it takes out duplicates basically. So 3 tornado reports, 45 wind, 4 of those being high wind, 57 hail, 14 of those being large hail. Checking to see how many of these are. Actually, let me look it up here. See how many of these are gonna expire out. Actually, got quite a few that are about to expire out soon here. Is that 90 mile per hour? Well, they condensed it, but 7 mile per hour wind that they have that going for now instead of 90 or something. Then they have another severe dust warning on top of this, warned for baseball size hail. A new severe dust warning out over in southeastern Nebraska, over near Beat Rice. That's a warned for tennis ball size hail. There's your tennis ball size hail report over near DeWitt. I did not want to switch to the terminal radar. Another severe dust warning. That's in Nebraska as well. That's gonna be for this one area here for course size hail, 6 mile per hour winds. Updates down from weather-wise. That'd be tornado warning in Kansas that got updated. That got updated with the baseball size hail. And that's not severe dust warning. Tornado warning up here got condensed as well, looks like. My mic is buzzing. That one's warned for lime size hail. This one's warned for tennis ball. That's interesting. Another severe dust warning warned for course size hail, 6 mile per hour winds. I feel like that's the one thing we've been mainly talking about for today. Which I mean, hail and wind anywhere anyways gonna be the main threats for today, anyways. But I feel like that's what we've been mainly talking about for the most part when it comes to today's threat. What if we have any power outages right now as well? Let me look at power outage US. We do Decatur County, Kansas, 500. Thomas County, 466. Sherman, 65. Cheyenne, 4. Rollins, 4. There's actually 48 counties. Yeah, 48 out in Meade County down here. I don't know what's going on with that, but that might be where the wildfires are going on now right now. Let me actually check if that is the case. That might be why. Yeah. That would be why, yeah. Meade Lake fire, almost 50K acres burnt. Right. Let me switch over to weather news real quick. So, all right. So here is watch duty, which you can look at. A bunch of different wildfires are going on across the country. We got wildfires up here in Minnesota, but what we were looking at, or what I was looking at least, with Power Outage US. So, here's Meade County, 48 customers out, and then here is your power outages, which you got this one here, and you got two vegetation floods here, and then you got the Meade Lake fire here, which this is the one I was talking about that had 50K, almost 50K acres burnt, which this was updated 5 hours ago, so I don't know what it is at now. See. We got the Wolf Canyon fire, which is going on between Kansas and then into the Oklahoma Panhandle. We got the Charge fire, which was updated 10 hours ago, so that might be out already now because that was 90% contained. We got the Miller fire, which was updated a day ago, 20 acres. And they got quite a few. Had quite a few fires that happened down here in the canyon. This is in Texas. You got this chocolate chip fire. That's an interesting name for a fire. And you got the Hungate fire. You got the Western fire, which Western fire and chocolate chip fire are both out. The Hungate fire was actually updated 27 minutes ago, 60% contained. And then here's the Decatur County has power outages too. But these are from probably the storms that just went through and not necessarily fires. We actually got a couple fires up here in northwestern Nebraska actually too. Do we actually have any power outages there? I just clicked on Kansas again. We have some power outages, but none in. I don't think we have any areas that are in where the fires are at. All right, new mesoscale discussion just came out too. All right, so here's a new mesoscale discussion. Hail, wind, and tornado threat. Brief tornado cannot be rolled out within the next 1 to 2 hours. So it looks like we have a tornado threat for the next hour or two. Looks like. Let me take a look at the mesoscale discussion. Several cells are currently ongoing from Washington County, Kansas, to south of Lincoln, Nebraska. These are within the instability axis where the mixed layer cape is over 3,000. These are within the instability axis. Surface analysis also shows alpha boundary just north of these cells, extending into northwest Missouri with more instable wind shift with northeast winds from just northwest. So ignore Kansas. Vertical wind profile shows increasing level jet around 35 knots out of the south at Topeka, given the increased shear. SRH, brief period in time space may exist for a brief tornado before cells are uncut by the outflow. And then our outflow somewhere. I think it's be see. Not tornado warning. Severe dust warning. Ping I sail 60-mile-per-hour winds to be over in Cambridge, Beaver City, Stanford, and Apro and Nebraska. Another little severe dust warning. Buffalo State sail 60-mile-per-hour winds. Then we got this severe dust warning here. Course size sail 60-mile-per-hour winds. Another severe dust warning that's out over in Missouri. Half dust to sail 60-mile-per-hour winds. Low. I was about to say load radar. Is it taking a minute to load? I like how on severe weather days, Radar Omega works generally fine, but every other time it's like every warning decides it wants to refresh itself for no reason. It is quite the thing. All right, we just have the tornado warning out in Kansas now. So we're sitting at one tornado warning again. We haven't. I mean, we really haven't, as far as I know. I mean, we've had. I know two tornadoes occur today, but we haven't had. I mean, today wasn't really going to be a big tornado day, but it was mainly wind and hail. Which I mean, we definitely see. We've seen the wind. We've seen the hail. The big hailstones, actually. Got more 6 mile per hour winds. Oh wow, there's actually a weather station here, AWN, which is that ambient? Is that ambient weather? It is ambient weather network. Yeah, and then another one over here too. A lot of AWN personal weather stations out here. Actually, wow. That new spirit storm that's over near Grand Island. It's 3 4 course I sail 6 mile per hour winds. Yeah, there might just be just a few windmills out here. Holy. Yeah, I think there's definitely an inversion starting to set in on the backside here. Because when you have a surface inversion, your beam gets bent down, and then at places where there's a lot of windmills, you're gonna get a lot of this. Imagine for tornado possibly would probably be in here if we do have a rotation. That seems like the most likely location. Does this one load? That alpha boundary that went through here as well initiated a bunch of storms. I guess there was probably, I mean, storms really haven't had too much issues initiating over here, but imagine there was probably some kind of cap in place, and then that alpha boundary initiated all that. Or there wasn't like a ton of lift in the area, perhaps. I mean, the 300, looking at 300 millibars, our main forcing is still out west. There's some forcing at 500 millibars on the backside of the storms. What about 700? I mean, there's a short wave. Ugh. That a hiccup of a hiccup and a hiccup. So I think this is technically an MCS. So I never have it. I like how I have like multiple different like alerts going off at once. I got the NIU site with the alerts website. I got weatherwise going. I got radar mega. I actually have muted because I was worried it would like refresh the alerts every 2 seconds. And that tornado warning in Kansas has been canceled out. Let me do this. Like reaching over, trying to get to my stream deck as I'm like sitting back. Actually got dust storm reports actually coming in from that storm over in Kansas, northwestern Kansas. Which I mean, looking at because I've been watching Vince Welty's stream. Yeah, that is not surprising at all. And the storm force page broke. Nice, great, great. That's great. Was that the drought monitor? Looking at the mosaic, yeah, we got a MCS that I mean it's been going, but whether or not this thing starts picking up, we'll have to see. At least with this section here. This section here has been pretty consistent with damage and win so far, from what we've seen with the personal weather stations and then also mesonets and whatnot. And then we probably got like a second MCS starting to develop on this thing over here too. So we got another wind threat starting to come into fruition here. Okay, there we go. I just had to refresh it and it fixed itself. Okay, cool. I'm like, why is it not wanting to work? Man. New severe dust warning that's over in Missouri. The for 60-mile-per-hour winds and also half-hour size hail. Yeah, I think that tornado threat's definitely died down by quite a bit now over here in southeastern Nebraska. All right, new severe dust warning that's for ping pong size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. New severe dust warning again, half size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. We got a hail and wind threat starting to go on over there too. New MCT concerning the tornado watch over here in Missouri. Hail and wind, main threats out of that. We'll see what they say about that in a second once that fully releases. released yet? Yep. Okay, there we go. But it's not wanting to drag the graphic properly. Okay. So here's a new mesoscale discussion. Wind and hail being the main threats. Severe gusts are a main threat with a cluster of storms over the next few hours. There's a little bit of tornado threat, it looks like, but honestly, I would expect the wind threat to be the main threat out of this. And then, we have been seeing like hail threat out of these, but I feel like we're gonna be seeing more of a wind threat than anything out of the storms over here in Missouri. Same with the ones over in Kansas and Nebraska. Oh wow, got a new spirit that's running baseball size hail. That's over in Nebraska. That's a lot of hail. At least that. Well, even on filter, it's still a lot, but on unfiltered, that is a lot. All right, new Spirit Dust warning. That is for Peacock Size Hail and 6 mile per wind. It's also has Tornado Pasta I got too. This is probably latching on to the outflow boundary. New Spirit Dust warning again. Half dog size hail, 6 mile per hour winds. We got a new tornado warning. What am I hearing right now? Oh, be east of Beat Rice, Kansas. This got a new Spirit Dust warning down here, which is warned for 80 mile per hour winds down here in Hill City. Well, the Spirit warning on top of it has Tornado Pasta, but the Spirit Dust warning for 80 doesn't have the Tornado Pasta on it. And then we have another tornado warning down here in Kansas for the same area that we had a tornado warning in earlier in Haddam, Kansas. I just changed this back. So we are back to having a tornado warning in both Kansas and Nebraska again. And both of them are near areas that we have had tornado warnings in previously. Although the one in Haddam, Kansas is the one that we had a tornado warning in earlier. I wonder if our shear is starting to increase a little bit. Probably is. Yeah. I see a hook starting to develop here, just southwest of Rosemont, Kansas. That'll be something to watch for there. Got a new spirit rush warning for over here in Kansas, over near Beat Rice, for limestone sail 60 mile per hour winds. Try to see if I can get a better view on this here. Might be having range folding issues again on this storm down here near Beat Rice. Because that's what we had earlier. And that looks to be the case again. Sending some sent screenshots to my parents of the storms over in Iowa that I was looking at, which I mean, they've been firing up here. There's actually a severe dust warning on the one up here near Sumner. For course, I sail 60 mile per hour winds. Which these are probably gonna be the storms as they make their way probably east and southeast. Probably make their way into northern Illinois. Probably wouldn't be till probably around 11 or midnight once they do make their way to the any portion of Illinois here. And it's to be into overnight hours into the morning hours once the storms do make their way through Illinois. We got new severe dust warning for limestone sail 6 mile per winds where the tornado warning is over near Haddam, Kansas. And then we have a new severe dust warning over here 2 miles east of Grand Island for half limestone sail 6 mile per hour winds. And holy wind. And this is right near the radar station, too. Yeah, this is a cell I've been watching for here. Because I'm like, this could do something. But, I mean, Shear's gotten stronger because we're getting into the nocturnal hours. Because in the nocturnal hours, you have your little jet, which increases shear and all that at night. So, we'll see. And then the storm relative velocity has definitely gone up too, at least on the effective layer. The significant tornado parameters fixed layer has a 3 down where the tornado warning is over near Haddam. Got another cell near western Nebraska here. Literally a town called Western Nebraska. That could be an area of interest. I'm not gonna be surprised if this eventually gets upgraded with the wind threat. Because I mean, look once again, look at the velocities here near the radar site. There was a severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for 80-mile-per-hour winds and, of course, ice hail. I think that's not in Nebraska, which is this one right here. Automated weather station at 9:08 p.m. and an 82-mile-per-hour wind gust reported near Hill City. And then you got the 60-mile-per-hour wind. Of course, ice hail with tornado pile stick on it. So we definitely have a MCS. I mean, it's been going for a while now, but definitely organizing MCS here. New severe thunderstorm warning, 6-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail. It's out over in Nebraska. This one right here. That's that cell I was looking at earlier. Like I can't see anything with this big boom arm in my way. All right, new tornado warning. That's gonna be for over here for it's gonna be for Rockford, Virginia, Philly, and Nebraska. The sea area rotation as well. What if does Omaha's radar have a little bit? No, actually, no. It does have a bit better rotate. Not well, better picture of where rotation is at. I think at least. Either way, it's in this general area here. Sitting at three tornado warnings, but well, actually, none of them are out. Expire out soon. The one that's closer to expiring out is the one that has 21 minutes on it, but we'll see what they do with that. Another tornado warning for this one over here. Let's see for Mount Clair, St. Stevens, and Lawrence in Rosemont in Nebraska. The storm chasers starting to kind of wrap up their streams. Storm Runner, let's wonder what Storm Runner Media is doing here. Actually, let me refresh my YouTube because sometimes it'll show people as live when they're not live. Corey Gherkin's still alive. They did not upgrade the spirit. All right, new spirit dust warning again. Actually, not the new tornado warning. Actually, it'd be between Nebraska and Kansas, but for Nebraska, it'd be for Alma, Republican City, and Pony. All right, so we're sitting at 4 tornado warnings now, which I would say this is the most tornado warnings been at all day, but we've definitely been at that some point today. I don't know when though. Surprisingly, I say they still have the tornado warning going on inside the tornado warning still. Keep an eye on this right here near St. Stephen's. here. We're continuing. So far, nothing in terms of anything from the store prediction center. So the last thing from the store prediction center was at 8:59 with the mesoscale discussion. Ugh. Oh, one tornado will expire out soon here, which is this one. I'm surprised they didn't just cancel out the one that was already on top of the tornado warning. Oh wow. Okay, we have a flash flood emergency going on over here in Trenton, Missouri. This just got issued 2 minutes ago. So if you're in this area, make sure you get to higher ground. Stay away from any roadways that are flooded over. Storm total precip. Wow, yeah, you can see even from radar here. 7 inches. Yeah, that's a lot of rainfall that's been building up here. So we have tornado warnings going on, and then we also have, once again, a flash flood emergency ongoing in Missouri. So once again, if you're in this area, make sure you get to higher ground. Turn off storm reports real quick. We're continuing for Lawrence, Rosemont, and St. Stephen's, Nebraska. Yeah, but I'm not surprised if this section here is all trying to be tornadic here. This section, though, is more or less just damaging winds. And this is definitely, I mean, this is probably not even the last of the rainfall either over in that area for Missouri. Because you can see, I think, let me go to Omaha's radar real quick. Because you got all these storms over here, which are, I mean, they're kind of making their way east here. I would not be surprised if some of these storms train their way over into northern Missouri. And there's also severe dust warnings on top of this too, which this one's warning for ping pong to sail 60, but that's about to expire with the next 3 minutes. And then we got the severe dust over here, more for $50.60. And then we got a new severe dust warning over here near Omaha for 60 and quarter size hail. Wonder if yeah, you can see from the storms that were over here earlier, and then you got all these storms from the northwest that trained on down. That's adding on to the rain totals. Wonder what the highest total is according to radar here. 7, almost 8 inches there. And this is 9:36 p.m. with the storm total precept. So this could be even higher than that with the next update, whenever that comes on in. Interesting. Narrow tornado reported. Tornado has since left it. So there was indeed a tornado here, it looks like. And they also canceled out the tornado warning areas too. Actually, there's still, well, actually, no. They canceled out both those tornado warnings there. So now we just got the two over here in Well, we got the one that's still technically in Kansas, but now we just got the one in Nebraska, two in Nebraska actually. What about ever? Well, we got a couple flash flood warnings even over here too. Let me take a look at the storm precip total too. Even so, looks like about 4 inches in some spots here, 3 to 4 inches in some spots over near Beat Rice. About 3 to 5 inches over here near Amherst, Nebraska. About five, probably 4 to 6 over here in Cario, Nebraska. Yeah, I would be surprised if there still is. Oh, I mean, it's definitely got relieve the drought for sure at this point. How much of it? Well, we probably won't know till well next week because next week is because every Thursday the drought monitor releases a new what's the word I'm looking for here? A new not outlook, but new update, I guess. And they issued another severe dust warning, 7 mile per hour winds, and tornado power tag. That'd be another severe dust warning as before ping pong cells, 60 mile per hour winds, which would be for this cell here. Once again, this area here, this portion of the line here is still the most tornadic portion of it. I could definitely tell where that strong area of wind gust is too, with the where the severe dust warning is. Well, I mean, I would not be surprised. I mean, we got REA. Is this from earlier or is this from this bit ago? Okay, this is from earlier, but I would not be surprised if we get another wind report out of that area. Anything down here? Doesn't seem like it. Because I know we had something. I know we had a severe threat earlier, then they dropped that. But I was wondering if we had any storms down there, which nothing. All right, new severe dust warning. This one right here, ping pong size sail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Wouldn't be surprised if this was observed as well. Observed damaging winds. Radar indicated. Which one? It says radar indicated, but it could be for. Oh, okay, it's for both. I'm like, it could be for either or. Because that's one thing I would. That's one thing I wish radar mega showed, like weather-wise, is that if it showed which one was observed. But oh well. There was actually a rainfall rainfall discussion from earlier. Actually, that's one thing I have not looked at today is if the hydrological outlook. And there was a slight that the Weather Prediction Center put out there for flash flooding. Well, day 2, marginal. Day 3, slight. And the day 3s is that Monday threat. And then day 4, they have a slight in Oklahoma and portions of Arkansas and Texas, and even into Missouri. But yeah, that's the extent of that. And we have a new severe dust warning that got issued over here near north of Lincoln, Nebraska. All right, they finally dropped the tornado warning on this thing. That took a while. They did keep the tornado plastic on it though. They dropped to 80, just down to 70. But I mean, considering the history of this thing could just surge again with a wind on this. Yeah, you can definitely tell the shape of the MCS. That's for sure. I just absolutely just bonked my mic with my hand. And they canceled out the tornado warning over here in Nebraska now. So we're back to having no tornado warnings now. However, we still have that Missouri flash flood emergency, and then a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings going on right now, which we have the MCS over here, which is our wind threat, and then we have a bunch of like clusters of supercells over here, which are producing damaging wind and hail. All right, new severe thunderstorm warning again. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. That's in Nebraska, which is this one here. No tornado policy on it. Yeah, you can see your wind reports starting to pile up here. Let me. Where is the ruler? Like trying to figure out. So, I mean, this is 191 miles. They're like, I don't. Although I don't know how much they have modified the. Because I know they have a new definition for derechos, but I don't remember what the new definition is for derechos. Wow, I can really type today. Holy. Let's see. Because I don't think we're gonna have the case of a derecho, but I mean, with what we've been seeing with the amount of wind reports, I mean, it could be maybe not near that caliber, but definitely probably just below that. Way below, well, way below derecho, but definitely an MCS or mesoscale convective system. Which I feel like we probably would have gotten a lot more wind reports than what we have now. I mean, we have a bunch over here in Kansas and, well, a couple in Colorado, but a bunch over here in Kansas. And actually, most of them have been in Kansas, but not really a whole lot from the MCS going into Nebraska here. Oh, Because for derecho, continuous or intermittent swaths of wind damage may extend for at least 250 miles. Wind velocity, wind spread, and wind gusts must reach a minimum of 58 along the majority of storm's path. High intensity gusts, the storm swath must include 3 measured or 5 total estimated wind gusts, 4 plus mile per hour winds, hurricane force, each separated by at least 50 miles. I don't know if we've had the separation portion when it comes to the hurricane force winds. Storm width must maintain a width of at least 60 miles. No more than 1 hour can elapse between consecutive severe reports. Physical gap between consecutive wind or damage reports cannot exceed 125 miles, which we haven't had any gaps in wind or damage reports. So, well, I don't know. Either way, we definitely have an MCS. So, eek goes my boom arm. I need to put some WD 40, I think, on this thing. Let me turn this down to 14 frames. Don't need to go super far out with the scans. I wonder what the Nebraska mesonet looks like. There's one. Let's see, hold on. I need to pause this. So Trying to figure out where the closest mesonet is to this MCS here, which I think is right just near where most of the mesonets are. At least on this, at least on the Nebraska mesonet site. I don't know what the I don't know what personal weather station sites look like. New severe dust warning: 60 mile per winds and 60 mile per wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. Which is this severe dust? Really, Outlook. You didn't have to open it because I actually clicked on something. I didn't realize it would open up Outlook. But now it decides to open Outlook as soon as I go to look at a severe dust warning. Great. Holy lag spike on well, not weatherwise, Firefox. My Firefox is completely lagged out. Oh, that's great. It's amazing. Okay, I need to refresh this, I think. Firefox moment. I swear, when it comes to some of these streams, man, it's like I'm playing Pokemon, but for uh random tech issues. All right, we have a new severe. We have a couple of new severe dust warnings actually, but we have new one that just got warned for 8 mile per hour winds. That's be for Hildreth, Upland, Minden, and Norman, and Hartwell in Nebraska. My mouth is getting dry. I need some water. Ugh. I need to pull up 'cause I think I had Corey Gherkin stream up, but I had to close it out because Firefox decided it wanted to have some weird issue. I don't know why, but yeah. All right. There we go. Okay. Back to what I had open originally. I don't know what Firefox's issue was. Wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more severe dust warnings for 80-mile-per-hour winds along this line here. Because this section here has been a big sector for gusty winds. What is going on with my notifications on my phone? Your phone is used your phone has less hours of whatever notification. I just realized I'm still on drawing tool. I'm like trying to drag my mouse over. Because we have a new severe showing over here for half dot size hail, 6 mile per winds, just west of our flash flood emergency in Missouri. Has there been any updates to this at all with the flash flood emergency with this? Issued 37 minutes ago. Okay, so there hasn't been any, as far as I'm aware. I mean, there's probably the like EMS and all that probably talking with the area here, but in terms of like anything, I don't know if there's anybody even any in the area. Yeah, anybody in the area that is well, I guess live. I guess I don't know. And we have a new spirit ice warning. That's to be for 7 upper wind gust and core size hail. I see on our MCS up here. I think. Oh no, it's gonna be east of our MCS actually. Interesting area near northeast of Superior, Nebraska. Like trying to, because this portion, because my boom arm for my mic is blocking the because how big my monitor is, my boom arm blocks portion of the screen, so I'm just like having to like lower my head to try and see what's going on. All right. Anyways, yeah, the area right here is something I'm watching for here. So there's definitely still an outflow boundary down there that this storm has been trying to hook onto for a while at this point. It's just a matter of if or when it does produce, and if it has a. I mean, you can have weaker areas of rotation and it can still produce a briefer weak tornado, but whether or not that's actually the case there, remains to be seen. And for the next Outlook that comes out, that's gonna be at 1 in the morning. Although they have released Outlook, they did release the Outlook early last night at like 12:30 in the morning. So we'll see what happens, I guess. I can't imagine it's gonna be as quick as it was last night, considering tomorrow and Monday are definitely gonna be two of our bigger days, potentially bigger days, I should say. Because tomorrow we have at 15% up here between Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and South Dakota, and then day three we have the Sig 2 area down in Kansas. So either way, you gotta be busy days ahead of us. We got a new business scale discussion coming out for the Severe Dust Watch going on right now. We'll see what that says. Once it fully comes out, that is. And new Severe Dust Warning for ping pong sales, 60 mile per hour winds. They just they did something with the Severe Dust Warning here. Oh, they got an update. Observe 70 mile per hour winds. And all these storms that have this MCS are gonna merge with this, so will be interesting to see how those play out here. Ow. Really, headset? You had to like spike it had to pop the audio in my ear. All right, new mesoscale discussion is now out. Threat of significant damaging winds to 80 plus mile per hour winds persist, which we've already seen 70 and higher for damaging wind gusts with this MCS already. So will be interesting to see how far this ends up going with the damaging wind gust threat. I don't know if he'll. We'll probably we might see a QLCS tornado threat, but I think the damaging wind threat's gonna be our main factor for tonight. Otherwise, 209 got canceled, which I think is this one here. Which is that? Wait, it's the tornado watch. Or is it the one at the? No, it's the severe watch back here. Never mind. New severe dust warning has to be for pink ice hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. So for the most part, I mean, well, we still have this severe dust warning here that has the 80-mile-per-hour wind. Severe dust warning for 8-mile-per-hour winds, but that's gonna expire out soon here. Other than that, it's we got the severe dust warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds ahead of us, and that's gonna continue east. This is probably gonna go in. Well, I mean, we're gonna be going into overnight hours soon at some point here, but this is gonna be probably going to the overnight hours, probably going near Omaha, making its way into northwestern Missouri and southwestern Iowa. If the storm total precip is updated, it has. And yeah, that's radar. I mean, we're far from radar, but it's showing even higher amounts now. And Trenton and surrounding areas here, like probably like some areas that are near like 9 inches of rainfall, some that are like like a little over 7 inches of rainfall, some near 8. Either way, it's still a lot of rainfall in this area. And we got new severe dust warning on top of the severe dust warning. It's for core size sails, 6 mile per hour winds. Another new severe dust warning, half dollar size sails, 6 mile per hour winds. I think for the most part, yeah, definitely the wind and the hail threat are definitely gonna be our main concerns through tonight for the most part. But anyways, I'm gonna finish up the stream for tonight. Have multiple ways to get alerts. I'll likely be alive again tomorrow and Monday. I don't know when tomorrow specifically. Well, I'll be monitoring throughout the day, of course, and Monday too. But either way, I'll see you guys in the next stream, which will be tomorrow and Monday. And once again, have multiple ways to get alerts. But be well, if you have a weather radio, your phone, whatever. If you get social media, but multiple ways to get alerts and stuff. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next stream. Stay safe out there.